what's up? I'm Brett from Premier Guitar. We're hanging in North Hollywood, California at Rack Systems. I'm with George Lynch. What's up, George?
Hey, how you going?
And I'm with Dave Friedman. Dave,
Hey, man.
In case you guys don't know, this guy is the man. He has worked on some pretty famous rigs. He does a lot of modifications, tweaking, pro setups, all sorts of different things. Dave, tell me a little bit about some of the guys, in addition to Lynch, that you've worked with in the past.
Well, I've worked with Eddie Van Halen, Slash, Steve Stevens of Billy Idol fame, all sorts of players, even down to like Black Eyed Peas, a little bit of Def Leppard. It's kind of endless.
Yeah. So basically, you're the man everybody comes to when they want their amps tweaked or they want a rig designed for tours and whatnot.
Exactly. Basically, we assemble, like for instance, this rig here is a new rig for Lincoln Park that we're doing. And we assemble a rig to the person's, what they want to hear. Some players come in with a bunch of stuff. They know exactly what they want. Other players need a lot of guidance to get where they want. So we try to guide them in the direction that they hear in their head.
That might be best suited for them.
And that's what we get.
All right. Well, it's a beautiful looking rig. George brought us down here today. George, you wanted to do a little tone chase and a little tweaking. We've got one of your modules over here. Tell us what's on your mind.
Well, what we've started doing actually is continuing to work on the Lynchbox modules, the Brahma, the Grail, the Mr. Scary module, and the Super V module. We originally came up with a design for the Lynchbox. I think it's been about a year and a half now that it came out, and we worked on it for a long period of time before that, Dave and I. And we were set up, and what we would do is bring in other amps as sort of the benchmark that we were comparing these modules to and try to meet it or beat it, and doing kind of a double-blind test where I couldn't really see. You remember that, where I couldn't see what I was playing, but
Exactly. Back and forth, and you couldn't tell.
he had the secret A/B switch, and he wouldn't let me look, and I would just have to listen. And then at the beginning, of course, I always picked the vintagey, cool, boutique amps, and by the end of the day, I couldn't tell the difference most of the time. I was usually right? But at the end, I was picking the Lynchbox.
And hey, just to clarify, to break it down just a little bit, I mean, most of us are familiar with this technology in the Lynchbox when you're talking about the modules, but do you want to touch on it briefly just to kind of tell us the concept behind it? And, I know we have a couple modules loaded up here. Tell us what's up and what the whole idea is.
Well, each of these three preamp sections you can switch between, obviously, and they have they're designed differently, so you can sort of capture a sound from anywhere from a tweed, a Fender Tweed, to an AC30, to a plexi or a metal face Marshall, to a lot of the boutique amps that are out there, Boogies, Bogners, whatever, and some hybrid stuff, which mine are. And so what we did was we started out with, for instance, with the Super V, sort of aiming it at a modified early 70s metal face Marshall, which is what I used to use in Doc.
Sure.
Cascading channels, high gain, maybe not quite as much dynamics and fidelity that you would get in something that was lower gain. Mm-hmm. But for people that are looking for that, that's what you get with that module. But you have the ability to swap out up to 3 modules. And so I think they make about 30 modules, or between 20 and 30 modules, so you've got a lot to pick it from. And they're always designing more. So, and our modules are continuing to evolve in design. So that's what we're doing here today, is we're trying some different things to continually improve the sound and the designs.
And that's the thing. I mean, you're kind of constantly scratching at the animal to take your tone to new places, find new ways to, get more flexibility in what you're doing. So today, you guys are going to change out some different preamp tubes in the modules, and we're going to do a little listening.
Yeah, we're going to try to make it a little tighter and focused. Which module are we? I think we have sort of a generic design. I think we're aimed at.
It's basic. It's circuit-wise. It's your Brahma.
Okay, so we're going to take the Brahma and try to, do a swap in one of the tubes and do some different things and see if we can get it a little tighter and more focused.
Very cool. So right now, when you started playing, you were plugged into the module that's lit up. Is that what's going on?
Which is a prototype of the Brahma,
Okay.
which is my module. And so I've been carrying these around with me for a little while, and these are these Yugoslavian preamp tubes. I don't know if these 7025s?
Yeah.
7025s with a variation of a 12AX7. Really well made, hard to get, I think now impossible to get. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happens
So
if
this sounds good, what are we going to do?
it sounds really good? Somebody's got to make these
Right,
tubes.
then we're going to go to the titty bar and look at freaking girls we can't have, and then go to the Ferrari dealership and look at cars we can't own.
We might even wind up at the double hooker motel again. You know, and the Brahma module, you know, he's talking about this being a prototype to that module. That module, if I'm correct, is based on your plexi, which was what year again?
68.
A 68 plexi. So that module was actually modeled after that amp for you.
Yes.
And the whole idea maybe is that other people can capture a 68 plexi tone, or even for you, you might not have to take that head around and you can keep it safe and you can capture a tone.
It's something that I use when I record, but it's not roadworthy, and it's pretty valuable, and it's not something I could feel like I would, you know, want to risk taking out there. It's, I think, almost impossible to try to expect to, you know, capture everything that these kind of vintage amps and guitars do that are 30 and 40 years old, because just through the aging process things happen that you really can't replicate, you know. But we got very close, I think, in some respects, and you know, for the money, I mean, you get a lot of bang for your buck, you know. For people that don't have the $5,000 or $10,000 to go and buy a, you know, original 68, 69 plexi.
Yeah.
So we changed the tubes, and so we're going to play that same chord riff and see. Dude, that breathes way better.
Yeah, it breathes better. There's an audible like shimmer to it that it sounds a little
Smoother
more open.
quality, but some kind of low mid growl to it.
Now you got to figure out where to get the tubes.
Right, and I got to, now see, I brought those tubes, so they're mine. But,
But you can't punk out on the rest of the
but
world
I
that
have to
wants
take
this
them
sound.
home, but the module's his.
Yeah.
So I have to somehow steal those tubes, take them back to my studio, and figure out how to put them into mine. But what we'll do is we'll find equivalent to those tubes, and then we call up Randall and we say, well, this is you know, an upgrade we want to do, and within a certain amount of time they include that in the manufacturing process, and they, you know, it's sort of like the Boss pedals. You know how those continuously have evolved over the decades.
Sure. I have a question. I mean, Joe was just kind of zoomed in tight on that cabinet. What's up with the cabinet?
That's the guy who owns it.
The cabinet is a 70s Marshall cabinet that's been stripped of its Tolex. I actually think it actually originally belonged to Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
So,
Which one?
I don't know. But anyway, it's loaded with early 90s greenback reissue speakers, Celestion greenback reissues.
That cabinet's great. No, if I could spirit that out of here, I would, believe me.
yeah, he told me earlier you weren't going to sell it to him, so.
You can't have
He
it.
will when I'm rich.
Well, guys, I want to thank you so much for the inside look at this. I mean, we're tone chasing in Hollywood, California with George Lynch and Dave Friedman of Rack Systems. I'm Brett. You're watching PremierGuitar.com.